Muhurta Matrimony. ಯಾವುದೇ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ನೋಡಲು ಕೇವಲ 25 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿ. ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ Muhurta Matrimony from Google Playstore.
In the series of interviews that we have been conducting recently, today as a guest we have Mohammad Nalapad, the youth icon from Bangalore city. So welcome to the show, Mr. Nalapad.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So we have been trying to reach out to you to have an interview about Mr. Nalapad, and there is a lot of aura that surrounds you. So based on the aura that has been created or has already been placed there, we would like to clear a lot of air about what happened and how things happen and what actually Mr. Nalapad thinks about a lot of things that are going on in the country right now. So we'll start with who is Mr. Mohammad Nalapad?
See, I honestly feel when you're saying that I have a lot of aura, I feel actually blessed to hear that from you all. And I believe that as a youngster, it is our utmost responsibility to be, if you want to be in politics and if you're a youngster, you should make sure that you take decisions that affect how other people think.
Okay.
So I want to live a life of ideas of mine that affect how others are thinking. So to start off with, like you said, a lot of controversies. There were mistakes from my end. I repent for it. I've changed. I'm going through another phase where I'm rebuilding myself, reinventing myself, whereas I can be an ideal person who people can look up to.
Okay. When I started and we spoke about the aura that has been created about Mr. Nalapad, we are very clear about it that whatever the controversies that have happened in the past, we are not going to talk about the controversies. We want to know about Mr. Nalapad, what he thinks as a youth icon, where does he see Bangalore in the coming next 5 years, and specifically about the ideology and the party and the organization that he belongs to, that is Congress. So let's talk about the turmoil that the Congress is currently going through. The G23, Mr. Azad, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, a lot of things are happening, and what is the message that is going out to the people? Say for example, if I am someone who is inspired by the ideology of Congress, but I am right now confused that what do I do? What do I make out of it?
See, every family, like I always say, Congress is my mother and Congress members are our family, right? So in every family, 5 fingers are not same. So 5 brothers will not be same, 5 sisters will not be same. So Congress is the oldest party. And we have a lot of conflict of interest with a lot of old people and the new generation. There's a lot of ideological differences. First of all, I would like to start by saying I am a Karyakarta. I don't have any right to comment about my top line leaders. But what I think right now is happening is, it is just teething issues that we are having within ourselves. That is not anything to affect people from outside. We are talking about our differences within us, right?
So what is the time period that you expect that there will be an absolute clarity in the Congress itself that a particular person A, a particular person B, a particular person C, or Madam Sonia Gandhi or Mr. Rahul Gandhi, they are the person who we are going to listen, and they will be the people who will be showing us the way?
See, let me just make it simple for you. Congress family is headed by the Gandhis.
Okay.
The reason we all stick together and the flock is there is because we have an high command, and that gives us instructions down. So when there was no Congress party at all, when everything was going down south, that's when Sonia Madam came and she pulled everything together, and she gave up being Prime Minister twice, and that's a huge sacrifice. Today, if we talk about even a corporator, if he gets a chance to become a mayor, he'll leave everything and become mayor. She left the opportunity to become the Prime Minister not once, twice. So that shows how driven she is and how much she cares about the party and the people of this country to pull it together.
Okay. When it comes to Congress party as a political animal and the question of winning the elections, there has been a lot of people who have pointed out that Congress has been a slow starter when it comes to accepting the social media and the digital media. Do you agree with it?
We agree with it. See,
Okay.
today I think one of the major, I read an article where it says one of the major reasons why we lost, Congress lost in BJP was because we didn't exercise our social media right. And we didn't spend enough on Facebook and Twitter. Even Tejasvi didn't spend enough on Facebook and Twitter, is what the article said. And I think today, going forward by 2024, the next MP election, literally there might not be so many visual rallies and people coming and joining and all these things, because see, before 2020 we didn't know what Corona was.
Yeah.
Today we know what Corona is and what the difficulties that is shown to the people. I think getting people in one place in large numbers is no more going to be viable for anyone. So everything is going to go digital. So people are going to have these rallies digitally. And if I would say that BJP is on the mantle where they are taking the social media and the use of technology to the fullest, and we lack in that.
Yeah.
And I think the new age, younger people like us are going to bring in changes.
Okay.
Because see, for me, from where I come from, a youngster today, we believe in fast food, fast money, fast everything, instant coffee, instant tea, everything is instant for us. We forget what happened in the past. So when yesterday what happened, we forget. So forget about what Indira Gandhi has contributed to us, or the party has contributed to us, what Congress party's struggles were in the freedom. It's all being lost in the whole narrative. I think we need to ignite people and remind them, if Congress party was not there, we wouldn't be here talking like this. If Congress party wouldn't be there, Baba Saheb Ambedkar's constitution was not here, you and me wouldn't be speaking and saying what we freely will and wish. We are doing that only because of our party. See, these are the fundamental things that our people have forgotten. When they ask, what has Congress done in 60 years? You are talking, standing, sitting because Congress gave that to you. You know?
Okay. See, we have come in the course of the nation, India. We are at a very interesting, fluctuation point. There was a time when Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and the Jan Sangh, these were purely parties who were involved into a lot of social activities. Indian National Congress, while by being a series of very intellectual people, like being started with A.O. Hume and coming up to Dadabhai Nauroji and Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru, these kind of intellectual people, they were all into the idea of home rule or how to help out to people, and then it slowly with Gandhi also realizing in the later 1920s that it is independence that we want. We want Swarajya. That's how he started to grow. That's how the Congress grew. Was it a mistake for Congress to have been or to have actually taken the plunge of being a political party instead of being at the background exactly like how RSS and BJP work, to be in the background and be the the NGO kind of a social service kind of an idea and put up a different political front?
No, I don't think. See, today what Congress doesn't do and what BJP does well is, we don't play with people's ideologies. We don't play with your emotions. We believe in working for you, right? Congress's ideology is, we do things which affect people directly. BJP does what? It plays with your emotions. It plays with your ideology. It plays with your sentiments. Okay, they do this very well. They use everything in their power to make sure that it influences you and it thinks that BJP is the right way. They use the Mahabharata, they use the Ramayana, they use all these things just to epic and show that BJP is the savior from Congress. But whereas it is not the truth, Congress is actually what gave us what we are today.
Has there been a problem in the way Congress should be conveying its message to the people? Because there has been a lot of very surprising things that happened, like GST as a legislation was first brought by Congress. And then I won't comment because I am not an economic expert as in what has happened, but whenever I read the headlines, I do see that economy is contracting by minus 23% in the last quarter. So where did we go wrong?
We started off with demonetization.
Okay.
Right?
That was Indira Gandhi, Madam Indira Gandhi's time, I guess.
Demonetization. Now,
Okay.
when see, whenever Congress was ruling till Modi ji came into power, we had never seen these kind of numbers. We were never in these kind of situations because we had a real economist running the country. We had Manmohan Singh ji doing it. We had Chidambaram ji managing finance, who had great experience and exposure, right? Now, what is happening is the unplanned demonetization of this 500 and 1000 rupees note brought in a lot of crunch, and it killed a lot of the small businesses. And then next step came to GST. So GST was also an idea by Congress, but it had to be implemented in a very different way. But it was implemented very differently. And what we had proposed and what we had asked was the right way of doing it. This is what they did in a hurry to claim that they did it and they wanted the rights. See, on a very normal issue, the demonetization was supposed to be announced by the RBI chief, then RBI chief.
Okay, yeah.
But who came and said that?
The Prime Minister.
It's not his scope of work. But see, everything that they are doing and they are trying is just to take mileage out of it. And they have been failing again and again. And people are understanding it today. See, and you cannot play so much with people's, sentiments that they will not understand. People are not foolish. And in this age and time, we the youngsters are not going to accept it.
Okay, I'm glad that you put across it this way. But repeatedly, why has still been so much of pain being given to the people, to the youth, unemployment, the lockdown, and everything? But election after election, BJP still manages more numbers. I would not say that they win, but actually they do win. But they do manage more numbers as compared to Congress. Why is this happening?
See, when we take of election numbers, right? What we are seeing right now is this trend where our vote share has not been hit. They are breaking us with the number of seats. Our seats are going down, but our vote share has remained same. What they are doing is they are bringing in new parties, smaller parties. They are doing complex election. And they have become expert in this machinery. That where they are managing the election so well that we are not able to fight it. But I think in the near future that it will change. But see, what happens in Bihar, we had more than 20 seats which were lost in a margin of 1500 to 2000.
Yeah.
The reason being, some B team parties of BJP that participated in the election.
What are you referring the B team party of BJP as?
I don't want to comment, it's not my scope. But there are parties that have been doing this. And it is really offending the whole system, the whole ideology. Losing by 1,500 votes in an election is not a small thing. It is really, tampering with the people's mandate.
Back to, all the controversial questions that we have been talking about. CAA. What do you think about Citizenship Amendment Act that was brought in? Shaheen Bagh happened. The civil society was completely against it. We see a lot of noise coming from civil society, but we don't see the numbers that, the entire... Why is there not so many voices against or in respect to all these kind of legislation coming out from every corner of the country?
See, what is happening right now is they are breaking individually by community. Now you're going to each community and breaking each other, right? So first they'll break the Muslims, then they'll break the Christians, then they'll break the backward, then they'll break the SC/ST. Till each community is broken, the other community will not speak. They will think right now it is their turn, okay, we are safe. Then this next community, then next. If we all unite and voice today, this will not happen. But see, again, they couldn't bring the amendment law. They didn't bring the amendment law because they know that will be the biggest failure if they do that. And to me, according to me, India's fabric is secularism. India is built on the reason that we are all secular. Your religion is to you, your community is to you. You can believe anyone, you can do what you want. It is your personal choice, not something that has to be imposed on you. Right? And that is India for me. And that is the India I grew up in. I don't think anyone can change that.